Imagine you're driving down the highway, stuck behind a brand new, heavy-duty truck. These machines are massive, featuring chrome accents and leather interiors with price tags that can rival a luxury apartment. The person behind the wheel is often a teacher, a nurse, or an office worker. They are regular people who found a way to navigate a system designed to make these payments look possible. This chart highlights a significant shift in the market. The average monthly payment for a new car has now crossed the $700 threshold. For trucks and SUVs, that number climbs even higher. Monthly payments in this category routinely reach $900, and it is becoming increasingly common to see figures exceeding $1,200 every single month. Traditional guidelines suggest these figures should be impossible for the average household. There is a massive tension between median wages and these luxury price tags, which is being managed through increasingly aggressive financial tactics. This disconnect is managed primarily through the length of the loan. The standard 3-year or 4-year car loan has effectively vanished from the modern dealership. Lenders are now offering contracts that stretch 6, 8, or even 10 years into the future. This is a psychological maneuver. By extending the term, a crushing $1,500 monthly payment is lowered to a figure that looks manageable on a monthly budget. Spreading an $86,000 total cost over 8 years adds an extra $14,000 in interest charges. Consumers are paying a significant premium for the appearance of affordability. Because cars lose value so quickly, this timeline creates a dangerous gap. By year 5 of an 8-year loan, the driver owes much more than the vehicle is worth. When it's time for a new vehicle, that unpaid debt is rolled into the next loan. This creates a cycle where buyers are constantly borrowing more to pay for assets they no longer own. This pie chart illustrates the resulting budget drain. Many drivers are now dedicating 30% of their take-home pay exclusively to their vehicle. Maintaining that payment often requires living on a diet of cheap ramen, canceling vacations, or taking on second jobs in the gig economy specifically to cover the truck. In extreme cases, buyers rely on high-interest credit cards for gas and routine maintenance to preserve enough cash for the monthly loan payment. The vehicle has transformed from a tool for independence into a master that dictates every other financial decision in the household. This level of sacrifice only makes sense when you look at how the industry has rebranded the vehicle. Automotive marketing has moved beyond utility to focus on identity and social standing. This leads to a psychological bond where the buyer becomes a defender of their own debt. They begin to view the vehicle as an extension of their personal success, which makes the prospect of driving a cheaper used car feel like a downgrade in their social value. We can perform a financial autopsy on that $55,000 truck from the highway. With a 7-year loan at 6%, the base cost with interest reaches $67,000. Insurance for a large, expensive vehicle adds $21,000 over 7 years. Fuel for a truck getting 15 miles per gallon adds another $29,000. Maintenance for the complex technology in modern trucks adds at least $15,000 more. This is a process of systematic wealth destruction, made comfortable by premium materials and modern conveniences. After 7 years and $130,000 in total spending, the driver is left with an asset worth roughly $15,000. Investing that same monthly payment in a standard index fund could have generated $70,000 in liquid wealth. The next time an expensive truck pulls up next to you, look past the chrome. The truck in the next lane provides a clear signal of financial capture. In this environment, a reliable, paid-off vehicle becomes the most significant status symbol of all. If someone told you they were dropping $1,200 a month on coffee or retail shopping, you would probably stage an intervention. Yet when someone commits that exact same amount to a monthly vehicle payment, society nods and praises them for securing reliable transportation. Because we treat this massive expense as perfectly normal, millions of people quietly participate in a widespread system that systematically drains their net worth. It starts with the illusion of a deal. You see signs offering 0% APR financing for qualified buyers on a $55,000 truck. It sounds like free money. The cost of that financing is simply baked right into the sticker price. You can either pay full retail price and get the 0% financing, or take a cash discount and pay market rate interest. You never get both. If dealer incentives don't actually make these vehicles cheaper, we have to ask how average households manage to float these massive monthly obligations. The primary mechanism keeping consumers on the hook is negative equity. 3 or 4 years into a loan, the owner gets tired of their car, but they still owe thousands of dollars more than the vehicle is currently worth. Instead of asking for a massive check to cover the difference, the dealership simply rolls that negative equity into a brand new loan for an even more expensive car. This cycle creates a captive audience. The owner continuously takes on fresh debt to pay for new vehicles, while still actively paying off the cars they traded in years ago. They are not actually affording these purchases. They are simply kicking a compounding ball of financial liability further down the road. To see exactly how fast this drains a household, we can look at the real-world math on a standard $55,000 pickup truck. This graphic breaks down the baseline cost. Financed over 7 years at a 6% interest rate, the loan payments alone total $67,000. Then we factor in the carrying costs. Comprehensive coverage on an expensive new truck over those 7 years adds another $21,000. Driving a heavy vehicle that gets 15 miles to the gallon means fluctuating gas prices will drain an estimated $29,000. Modern trucks use premium components and advanced technology. Routine maintenance and basic brake jobs will run another $15,000, bringing the actual cost of ownership to an eye-watering $130,000. This chart puts that total in perspective. On the left, we have the massive $130,000 spent to operate the truck. On the right, we have the depreciated value of that same vehicle after 7 years, maybe $15,000. The buyer has essentially paid $130,000 for the privilege of driving a $15,000 asset. This is literal wealth destruction masquerading as a luxury lifestyle. To handle a burden this heavy, which often consumes up to 30% of their take-home pay, people aggressively cannibalize the rest of their lives. They downsize their apartments, skip family vacations, and eat ramen noodles for lunch. Many take on second jobs driving for rideshare companies on the weekends, just to generate the extra cash needed to keep the truck they drive to that second job. When the cash runs out, they resort to high-interest credit cards to pay for fuel and maintenance. They actively burn up their usable credit just to free up enough cash to make the monthly loan payment. The desperation eventually reaches their long-term assets. People drain their 401k accounts or take out massive home equity loans to fund down payments on rapidly depreciating inventory. The vehicle transitions from a basic transportation tool into a financial master, dictating exactly how the owner can afford to survive day to day. People do not willingly walk into a mathematical trap like this by accident. They are guided there by decades of highly sophisticated marketing designed to bypass logic. The automotive industry sells powerful psychological triggers. A commercial showing a truck climbing a mountain convinces the buyer that they are rugged, capable, and successful. Because the vehicle serves as a physical representation of their personal identity, buyers willingly bend their entire financial reality around the monthly payment. They abandon basic financial planning, preferring to fund a daily transportation fantasy rather than build wealth. Once they commit to the payment, owners develop Automotive Stockholm Syndrome. They become fiercely protective of the exact financial instrument holding them hostage. If you point out the math and suggest they downgrade to a reliable 10-year-old sedan, they perceive it as a direct attack on their self-worth. Dealerships know this. They avoid talking about total cost of ownership and focus on immediate gratification, stretching the loan out to 84 months to overcome any lingering rational objections. The next time you see someone commuting in a shiny, brand-new truck that costs more than a starter home, you are likely looking at a glaring red flag. They are probably eating cereal for dinner just to keep the keys. True financial freedom and actual liquid wealth is much more likely to be found sitting in the driveway of the person who paid cash for that reliable used car.